What's cracking, y'all? It's your boy Futuristic back with another video on IndieAmplify. Pardon my mustache, your boy's dad. Haven't got a chance to shave yet. A couple weeks ago, I told you guys about the time that Russ opened up for me, and you guys love that story. So I wanted to keep kind of telling a couple stories from the music industry from my own experience. Today, I want to talk about my journey with the Funk Volume crew, Jaron Benton, Dizzy Wright, Swizz, and Hopsin. Okay, so some of the first independent music that I ever heard was MGK, Mike Stud, and Hopsin, which I ended up working with all three of those people as my career went on, and this was probably about 2010, 2011. I believe the first song I heard from Hopsin was Sag My Pants or Ill Mind 4. When I heard that song, I'm like, man, this guy is very similar to the things that I do. I didn't even know that this type of music existed other than my own. So of course, right away, I'm thinking like, how can I get in contact? How can I work with him? How can I get him on a song? First thing I did was went to all of his different social media platforms, his YouTube, and looked to see who his manager was, how could I get a hold of them? I looked to see if he had any tours coming up, and randomly, he had a show coming to Arizona very soon. He was on tour at the time, and he had all of his management information in his bio. Right away, I message, I say, hey, big fan. I'm an artist in Phoenix. I see you're coming out here. Would love to do a show with you. And not only that, would love to do a song with you and shoot a music video while you're out here. Here's my video guy, Jacob Owens. Here's my music. Let's work. Laid the whole thing out for him in the email. And right away, Dame, who was his manager and the owner of Funk Volume, got back to me. He said Hopsin wasn't really doing features at the time, but they would love to add me onto the show. Not only that, he has a couple other artists on the label, which I didn't know about at the time, Dizzy Wright and Jaron Benton. So this is where I got introduced with Jaron Benton. I heard his song Schizo. I heard Dizzy Wright's Can't Trust Them, all these different things that they had out. And I'm like, yo, okay, cool, let's run it. What's the price on Dizzy and Jaron? What happened was I ended up getting Dizzy on a track for the low. I'm on the show. We get the song done. So when they come out, I'm like, okay, cool. We're gonna shoot the music video. We shot the music video in a hotel, at the show, just kind of around what they were already doing. Knocked out the music video, and it's the first and only video to go on the Funk Volume channel that wasn't a Funk Volume artist song. It was my song, ended up going on their channel. Another thing that me and Dame worked out as they had just signed Jaron Benton and wanted to get more exposure for him on that channel. This song was called Don't Mind If I Do, and it was actually one of my first videos to ever get 1 million views. So that was obviously our first link up. Everybody was mad cool, Hop, Dizzy, Jaron, Dame, we all vibed together. So kind of close after that, Dame reached back out. I had been growing my fan base, growing my buzz a little bit, and Dame actually asked me to do a leg of Dizzy Wright's tour. So I ended up, I think, doing about 13 shows on Dizzy Wright's tour the upcoming year, and I did it for free, but it was the exposure that I got out of it that made the difference. So just from reaching out, trying to get a song with Hopsin, I now ended up doing a big show in Arizona, getting one of my first videos with 1 million views and getting on another tour, just from reaching out. On that tour, we made the song I Guess I'll Smoke. And if y'all don't know that song, A, you're sleep, and B, it's one of my biggest songs that I've ever made. And the funny thing about it is, I don't smoke weed. I literally do not smoke weed, and every day on that tour, Dizzy is getting high as hell and asking me to smoke, and I'm always turning it down. On the reverse end, I'm drinking every day, and Dizzy doesn't really drink, so I'm trying to get him to drink. He's trying to get me to smoke. Bad influence, I know, I apologize. But that song basically happened out of being peer pressured to smoke. That's why the song is called I Guess I'll Smoke. After him asking me for 13 shows in a row, finally like, you know what, I guess I'll smoke. So that's how that song happened, and it's one of my biggest songs ever. Not only that, that song led me to get weed sponsorships, which is crazy because I rarely smoke, don't really smoke, play all these big weed festivals, be super out of my element, but get paid great money off of a song that happened about being peer pressured by smoking. Very random, but y'all probably didn't know that, so yeah. Funk Volume led me to I Guess I'll Smoke. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to my guy Dizzy Wright, one of the most legendary stoners of all time. As time goes on, this kind of bond, brotherhood between me and the Funk Volume guys kind of keeps growing, and I just keep working with them. I do a couple songs with Jaron. Me and Dizzy do more songs. I'm on his album, he's on my album. And then I get the call about doing Hop's tour. So I end up doing a bunch of shows on the Hopsin tour, and this is what I originally had reached out for way back in the day. So from building with Dizzy, building with Jaron, doing Rock the Bells with these guys, talking with Hopsin, talking with Dame, I now am on this Hopsin tour. After the Hopsin tour, another year goes by, then me and Hopsin end up doing the song Scrollin', another song that gets millions of views, and finally the feature that I had wanted probably 4 years before finally happens. And it wasn't like I had to buy it. It wasn't anything like that. It was just genuinely building within Hopsin's network, within that Funk Volume network, to finally getting the feature with Hopsin, which is what I had wanted 4 years prior. So the main moral of this story is, once you see an artist or somebody that you want to work with, no matter what that first response is from them, you kind of got to look around and see who else they're working with, who else they're vibing with, and genuinely build with those people as well. If I want to work with an artist, let's just say this artist is super popping and there's no way to get to him. Well, who's his hype man? Who's his DJ? Who's his producer? What other people can you kind of network with and build with genuinely that eventually this other dude is going to have no choice but to see your work, and if he rocks with you, start working with you. So moral of the story is, obviously I wanted a Hopsin feature way back when, and that turned into so many other great things that I never expected, from building friendships, brotherhoods with Dizzy, with Jaren, with Dame, and with Hopsin, doing multiple tours, making one of my biggest songs ever that's actually way bigger than the song I ended up doing with Hopsin. So at the end of the day, build within those networks and make sure that you are genuinely rocking with people and you keep going after what you want, because everybody is just one person away. All right, y'all, that's my time. It's your boy Futuristic. For all your needs, make sure you go to IndieAmplify.com. I'll see you next time. Sheesh!